from having 7 restaurants. Suddenly it was a situation where I had no restaurants, and everyone said his career is finished. But मैंने बोला I will never get into the restaurant. It was so heartbroken.
What was the trajectory from there?
2019 April launched the first Daryaganj restaurant. Few people came to me at that time who were in the industry. They said, you're doing a big mistake.
I want you to break down the unit economics of Daryaganj restaurant today.
We are almost at 22-23% outlet level. The bidda. Our marketing cost is very less. We don't spend more than 1-1.5%.
Really?
Yeah. I decoded the thing that कि क्या है ऐसा जो एक रेस्टोरेंट को सक्सेसफुल करता है in terms of customer.
What is that?
I said,
कौन कस्टमर और क्यों वो दरियागंज आता है? क्या सेगमेंट है where they think of you or where you thought that they should think of us?
जो vibe है उसको decode करो. The smell. So the moment you enter every Daryaganj restaurant, there's a certain smell, the fragrance you get. It took me 100 iterations to come to that fragrance. Then sound, music. Chose 300 tracks which I started with. And the biggest mistake I made, which was...
Amit, अगर आज a young aspiring restaurateur walks into your office and says मेरे पास 2 करोड़ रुपए हैं जो मैं लगाना चाहता हूँ, मैं रेस्टोरेंट खोलना चाहता हूँ, आपकी उसके लिए क्या एडवाइस होगी?
पहली एडवाइस होगी,
When we were researching on you, we got to know that आपने एक scrapbook बनाई थी with all the articles, of restaurant industry and restaurateurs, that were coming in the Economic Times. क्या हो रहा था? How young were you and why were you doing that?
I was a big foodie, as you can see, and I've always been one. So when I was 16, I learned one thing from my friend. He used to get Economic Times newspaper in his house every day, and I started that subscription. So every day, चाहे मैं उसको scan through करता था या कुछ करता था, I started reading that, and it really gave me a lot of education, which are real education about business and finance, and एक टाइम ऐसा आया कि मैं सिर्फ खोल के देखता था कोई रेस्टोरेंट होटल के ऊपर आर्टिकल है तो आई देन केम वन मेरा जो कुछ पढ़ना ही नहीं मैं देखूंगा रेस्टोरेंट और होटल के ऊपर कौन सा आर्टिकल है wherever I would see that article I will cut that out. I will actually I made a scrapbook and it had about hundreds of articles about restaurants and hotels. So actually because of that I know a lot of what used to happen many years back in the restaurant industry and how it has evolved over time, and so that was वहां से शुरू हुआ था. But then मैंने बोला कि कभी ना कभी रेस्टोरेंट तो खोलूंगा. फिर जब when I finished my school, I went to and joined my father's business. I was like pitching to my family. Finally my family agreed, हाँ ये idea सही है इसका कि अब restaurant industry बढ़ रही है, future अच्छा होगा. I could foresee that future is going to be great for the restaurant industry, and they agreed to it. तो चलो ठीक है, अब रेस्टोरेंट खोलना है. दिल्ली की बेस्ट लोकेशन कहाँ है? साउथ दिल्ली, GK1 एम ब्लॉक मार्केट. चलो उन्होंने वहां डिसाइड किया कि यहाँ खोलेंगे रेस्टोरेंट. फिर रिमेंबर देयर वाज अ टाइम इन दिल्ली जहां पर एक वो सीलिंग शुरू हो गई थी. They were started shutting down all the residential properties and only commercial properties were going to be.
What was it? 2001?
2001 exactly. So that time all the non-commercial properties were being sealed.
I was in 10th standard.
So because of that, what happened? The value of that property shot up to 3x. like जो x अमाउंट में थी 3x हो गई प्रॉपर्टी. देन शुरू हुआ 1-1.5 साल में जब तक तैयार हुआ तो पता चला जी जो मार्केट का रेंटल ऑफर हुआ was also 3x of what would have been that time. And then my family and everyone sat down and they told me, Amit, whatever it is, तू कितना कमा लेगा ये खोल के रेस्टोरेंट में? ये X नंबर कमा लेगा. तो ये बात बता, ये बिना कुछ करे इससे डबल पैसे मिल रहे हैं रेंटल में, क्या सेंस बनती है? मैंने बोला नहीं, पर मुझे ये करना है. और somehow the overall consensus was to give it on rent. Because the amount which we could have got as rent would have been 2x of the maximum we could have earned. So that's what happened, and I was totally
heartbroken. Restaurant की property
सारा plan zero हो गया restaurant का वहीं पर ही. And this is almost 25 years back. और मैंने बोला अब तो मैं रेस्टोरेंट कभी करूंगा नहीं. I will never get into the restaurant. I was so heartbroken. Then I thought of another idea. I said, okay, now let's start a chain of salons. And then that was how it was started. And then I went to a market in Delhi, Khan Market, and I find as amazing property. ये मैं sign कर दी, यहाँ पर salon brand start करूँगा. Sign भी कर दी, salon brand start करूँगा. And फिर मेरा एक दोस्त था, वो भी रेस्टोरेंटिया था. उससे मैं मिला, we were talking one day, उसने बताया कि यार तेरे प्रॉपर्टी के साथ मैंने भी एक और प्रॉपर्टी साइन कर दी है जहाँ मैं रेस्टोरेंट खोल रहा हूँ. तो हम दोनों we are like neighbors. मैंने ग्रेट. उसने मुझे फिर बोला, पिच किया कि काम करते हैं तू और मैं मिलके ना दोनों प्रॉपर्टी को जोड़ देते हैं, बीच में से डिवाइडर हटा देते हैं, लेट्स ओपन अ बिग रेस्टोरेंट, क्योंकि इतना बड़ा रेस्टोरेंट है ही नहीं कोई खान मार्केट में. मैंने यार देख, मैं रेस्टोरेंट बिजनेस में तो आना नहीं चाहता, ना मैं कभी करूंगा रेस्टोरेंट. मैंने बस सोच लिया था मैं कभी नहीं करूंगा. तो उस पर उसने मुझे काफी कन्विंस किया. मैं चलो ठीक है यार, एक शर्त पे करूंगा रेस्टोरेंट, तू चलाएगा तू, I will just come in, and maybe I will be like a silent partner or whatever, because it was looking like a very good proposition, because that time we could have been a differentiator by having such a big restaurant in that market. I somehow, when I got to see the whole process of how it was happening, and I actually slowly I got into the process. Then I realized यार यही करना है. But ये जब realize हुआ फिर कि मुझे लगता है कि this is what I love doing, this is what I like doing, this is what I realize I love creating things from scratch. I love creating a restaurant brand from scratch. The whole process of thinking of the concept, the name, the menu, the ideas, it was such a fascinating journey to do that. यार यही करना है. And
what was that restaurant?
it was called Boombox Cafe that time. It did very well at that time. Then another one I opened called OTB out of the box, Hoskas Village.
Yes.
And वहाँ पर तो Hoskas Village में तो was, we were the first few ones to open a bar there, which was a terrace bar. And the numbers were crazy what we used to do for these two brands,
So आपने OTB और Boombox से खून मुँह लग गया. You basically got the beginner's luck, and you also felt that this is a great business. What was the trajectory from there?
So, then after running those bars for a few years, I realized, yeah, this is great. I like this business. But I also realized कि मुझे ना कुछ food based concept करने हैं. Because I thought कि जो scalability आती है वो food based concept में आती है, तो मैं कुछ food based concept करता हूँ. So I decided to now do 3 new brands together, 3 different cuisines. So one was the biggest mistake I made, which was my learning later, that I put all my eggs in one basket. I decided to open all the 3 in the same market, Hoskas Village, where I was running OTB so it was like कि मैं बोला यार ये market बहुत चल रही है, यहीं पर ही खोल देते हैं. So I opened 3 restaurants.
Wow.
All of them shut down within a few months of them opening. So, and I spent a lot of effort and time into developing these 3 concepts. One was Farsi. It was a Middle Eastern shawarma place which I made.
I remember the blue colored branding, the blue glass.
And this was about 10-12 years back. A small 200 square feet shop used to do 15 lakhs revenue. And it was like this. It was a big hit that time. I opened that. Then I opened another one, a small restaurant called Desia, Indian street food concept. In fact, it was copied by many restaurants later, and a lot of people were inspired by that concept. Third was another Mexican restaurant I opened. Then
what was it called?
Makina. So, and while I was just when I opened Farsi, it was like I had applied for the license, and you could open the license restaurant when it's applied for. Was doing well and everything. Suddenly I get a reply saying your license is rejected. Your application is rejected. And I'm like, what? They've rejected the application to open a restaurant. I mean, because the answer was there's an issue in Hoskas Village or whatever and something, that there's a lot of congestion, traffic congestion. It was like random stuff, random reason. And then they were slowly that market started having many issues, infrastructure issues.
This was 2013?
This was 2013, 2014. And a lot of issues started happening in that market because it was not a planned market. It was like an old village converted into a commercial development. Slowly things started going bad. And the quality of restaurants started were opening there were also not good. They were like running it like not in the right way. Then and that time whatever I had earned in those 2-3 years in this 4-5 years of running the cafes, I put all of that into these 3, and I mean in fact more than that actually, because I was just pumping in hoping the license is going to come soon, whatever. But over a period of time, one day I realized the license is not going to come, and by the time it came, was too late. The market also died, and my funds also had dried up.
I remember those days Hoskas Village died suddenly. It was a crash.
So then because of that, even that restaurant OTB also had to shut down because the market has died down. And for some reason, the other restaurant where I had in other markets, I had to sell them off to pay off the debts here. So I was faced with a situation in 2000. Now, this was 2015, 16, 10 years back, where I'm like, I have no restaurants now. From, having 6, 7 restaurants, 3 which I just opened and 4 before that. And then suddenly it was a situation where I had no restaurants. And then, on that time, like I said, the beginner's luck had run out, and everyone said the same thing. To chal gaya by chance otherwise now this guy is finished. His career is finished. So everyone had started saying that only, that now ab to bada mushkil hai isko apna career revive karna.
When you say people, you mean outside or you mean family as well?
Everywhere. Everyone had maybe, written me off. So, मतलब आप क्या करें? So that was quite a tough time because, I had, and I'll be very honest that one thing which I learned when I look back now, I did put a lot of effort at that time. Same effort as what I did for Daryaganj. So now I was like, what to do? Now I said, okay, let me analyze what I did wrong. Few things which came out of it, which I think are good learnings for any restaurateur who can learn from my mistakes, which I realized after that. I realized number one, I made a mistake of doing all my brands into one market. So putting a risk into one market from all my restaurants, Number two, I took a risk of going to a market which was not a very, properly regularized market. What happens is you could have a great concept, but if you go to the wrong location and it doesn't, pick up, people will think the brand was not good. But ultimately, because of the location, the brand died.
Correct.
You never take a chance on your first location. Our focus segments like OTB and Boombox and all didn't have too much of loyalty factor. Because what happens is it was catering to young people going out, but the young people also grow up and get married or maybe go into different zone in life. Then they don't want to party at the same place anymore. So I realized we have to focus on food-based concept, which lasts longer. Big example, like I saw in Delhi, there was a restaurant called Quality running for 70 years. There's a restaurant, so many restaurants, Pandara Road running for many years. There were so many restaurants, or family-run restaurants, old restaurants running for years and years.
You realized it then, or is it your hindsight wisdom?
I realized it then. Then I was thinking of this, like I told you, all my learnings. Then I thought about few more things. One thing was like, एक कोई भी brand start करो, एक strong story होनी चाहिए. फिर मैंने सोचते रहा कि कोई क्या story बनाऊं मैं इस brand के लिए पीछे. Raghav Jaggi, who's my childhood friend. He was in school with me in St. Columbus. We were, so we knew each other since we were 5 years old. That's like almost 40 years back. So one day I was in Delhi, he called me, Amit, kya hai? Let's catch up. चल मैं आ रहा हूँ तेरे को मिलने हम बैठे we were like talking and just generally talking and he was like तेरे को पता है I really feel one thing he said मैं दादाजी की जो story है लोग जानते ही नहीं है यार and his grandfather was alive that time कहता कि so he told me about how his grandfather started a restaurant in 1947 and he was the inventor of butter chicken dal makhani मैंने ये क्या बात कर रहा है तू पहले तो मुझे भी लगा तो क्या कि सही कह रहा है क्योंकि मैं भी भूल गया था क्योंकि I used to go to his family restaurant when I was younger but मैं भूल गया था बात and I saw that yes it's a fact that butter chicken and dal makhani were invented at a restaurant in an area called Daryaganj by Mr. Kundalal Jaggi and you can say his partners. They were all partners there and that's where butter chicken dal makhani was invented. मैंने यार था कि दो dishes दुनिया में Indian cuisine को define करती हैं. मतलब कि people in the world know butter chicken dal makhani so well in any remote country of the world. So मैंने ना यार ये तो बड़ी अमेजिंग स्टोरी है तो है ना कि क्या करें कहता है कि so I said Raghav maybe we should do a new brand where of course so the story was that his grandfather opened this restaurant in 1947 at Daryaganj and he came as a refugee from Peshawar, Mr. Kundalal Jaggi and then he started a small restaurant with his partners and then he started selling tandoori chicken because tandoori chicken was sold in Peshawar where he came from and then he started and one fine day they just invented butter chicken with tandoori chicken so it was like a lot of guests came in and उनको कुछ मतलब खाना कम था तो बोला कि क्या ऐसा कुछ दें जिससे सबको enough हो जाए so they took tandoori chicken and made a gravy someone said यार gravy में डाल दो chicken and they can have it with the bread and it will be enough for everyone so he just cooked butter chicken and served to the guests. So that's how butter chicken was invented. So, and similar story for a dal makhani that, one guest came and suggested कि दाल मखनी में आप कुछ थोड़ा एक ना माँ की दाल होती थी पंजाबी दाल उसमें कुछ आप अलग करो and they invented dal makhani. And then मैंने बोला यार मुझे North Indian करना है and you have such a great story and people should know about your family legacy and story. मैं चल अमित क्या करना है बोला देख मेरी ये position है you have to help me out here. Let's start a restaurant together and I'll make sure I put in my best effort. And he somehow, touchwood, he trusted me and he put his...
this is what year?
This is 2017. 2017. He started working on it. 2017 में मैंने उस पे working करनी शुरू करी. First thing was the name. So name was one thing where, I was not sure about the name Daryaganj, by the way. My Raghav was sure कि Daryaganj नाम रखते हैं. बोला नहीं यार पता नहीं वो लोग को समझ नहीं आएगा ये एरिया का नाम है तो क्या लोग समझ पाएंगे. Luckily, Mr. Kundalal Jaggi was alive. So I went to Raghav's house. I met his grandfather, who was 94 years old. 93 years old he was that time.
Wow.
And met him, and I sat down with him. I have videos of him talking, and it was fascinating to go back to the times of 1940s, 50s, hearing stories from those times. He told me some amazing stuff about how those dishes were cooked that time, the kind of techniques, and one thing which is the most important, how we could recreate the same, is because he told us about what kind of ingredients used to go into the dishes. And the point is, you don't get the same kind of produce, you won't get the same kind of tomatoes now, you won't get the same quality of products, but we try to be as close to that. So in fact, he told me that there was such a huge demand of their food, that they had actually bought a poultry farm. Every day there was such a high demand of their food, and they used to sell so much. Like, I calculated, inflation adjusted, that one restaurant would have been doing like 7-8 crores per month according to the inflation adjusted amount. That's how successful they were at that time.
Back then.
Yeah.
In Delhi.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They were the first restaurant to open who did family dining. The first restaurant which actually served butter chicken, dal makhani, they were dishes invented by them. And then, so unfortunately, Mr. Jaggi passed away before we could start the first restaurant. But he gave us his blessings. And 2019 April is the first, when I launched the first Daryaganj restaurant.
So Amit, this was a great story and very well crafted brand. 2019 May, when you started this, how was the response? What was the response to the first restaurant? And give me a view of that. How did the world look like?
So 6 months before I was starting the restaurant, first thing was to start the trials, because I had all the inputs from Mr. Jaggi. Mr. Kundala Jaggi had given me inputs ki ye dalta tha, aise hota tha, ye technique hoti thi. His family, Raghav's father was there. He gave me a lot of ideas. I said, okay. But I didn't have like specific things which I can say, okay, us time koi likhta nahi tha aise ki ye likh ke rakha hai. So I put together all of that, all the information, all the ideas put together. Then I said, let's reconstruct the recipes. पहले हमने क्या किया, फूड ट्रायल्स शुरू करे कि खाना जो है उस टाइम 1947 का पहले रिक्रिएट करते हैं. So I hired a chef who came to help me out, and he started, doing food trials where he started developing the recipes which I had given him. मैं पहली बार जब ट्रायल हुआ, मैं किचन में गया, मैं बोला एक काम करो, आप सब सोचो कि आप 1947 में हो. आप 1947 में खाना जब बनाओगे तो आप सोचो कि आपके पास क्या सामान होता था उस टाइम, क्या इंग्रेडिएंट होते थे, क्या इक्विपमेंट होता था. अब मैंने देखा किचन में कि एक मिक्सर ग्राइंडर पर है, हटा दो ये चीज, सब कुछ हटा दो जो 1947 में था नहीं. अगर कोई ऐसी चीज जो इक्विपमेंट जो 1947 में नहीं मिलता था तो वो भी हटा दो. मैंने अब इंग्रेडिएंट पे भी चलते हैं. अब उस टाइम आपको क्या कोई पैकेट, अमूल बटर का पैकेट मिलता था? नहीं मिलता था. कैसे बटर मिलाते थे लोग? They used to hand churn butter and make it themselves. मैंने वैसे काम करा. So
this is during trials.
Yeah, during the food trials. We said, let's imagine ourselves to be in 1947 cooking the same dishes. And then the trials started. So in fact, one more direction was when I was hiring a few more chefs for the outlet. So I said, okay, now आप बताओ कि आपके हिसाब से बटर चिकन दाल मखनी कैसे बनता है, बना के लाओ. बना के लाए. They thought maybe I'll be very happy to try that. They said very confidently. मैंने अच्छा इसमें आपने क्या क्या डाला? उसने बताया ये डाला. उसने gave me a list of 18 ingredients. मैं बोला एक काम करो, इस 18 में से ना 10 घटा दो. कहते ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? ऐसे तो होती है, बनता ही ऐसे. मैंने बोला कहाँ आपको सिखाया ऐसे बनता है? कहता है हमको हमारे शेफ ने सिखाया था, जो उनको किसने सिखाया था. Ultimately what happened, over a period of decades, our Indian food has been complicated for no reason. आपके जो खाना बनता था इतने साल पहले वो सिंपल होता था, and best food is made with least of ingredients. Every new decade a new chef will come and add one thing here. अब इसको एक और चीज ऐड करो, फिर ये ऐड करो. Then your food becomes complicated. And what was happening was, with Indian food, people were just, taking a packet of cream, butter chicken mein dal do. It's easiest to do that. Not really taking that hard, the hard way where we were doing, like, getting fresh tomatoes, not adding so much, like not adding a packet of cream. Few people came to me who at that time who were in the industry. They said, you're doing a big mistake. Why are you starting a North Indian restaurant brand? वो भी classic North Indian brand. कहता वो तो बड़ा outdated हो गया. आजकल तो people are doing fusion, modern Indian. People are doing bars. Why are you doing this? I said I don't want to do it because everyone is doing it. I feel North Indian cuisine को ढंग से serve नहीं किया गया. So everyone said that तू दिल्ली में बटर चिकन दाल मखनी का रेस्टोरेंट खोला है जो दिल्ली इज नोन फॉर नॉर्थ इंडियन बटर चिकन दाल मखनी इन द वर्ल्ड.
Yep.
मतलब कि कहता है कि इज द टफेस्ट मार्केट इन द वर्ल्ड टू ओपन रेस्टोरेंट व्हिच इज सर्विंग बटर चिकन दाल मखनी, वो भी न्यू दिल्ली. एंड दैट आल्सो वेयर देयर आर सो मेनी नॉर्थ इंडियन रेस्टोरेंट्स सर्विंग द सेम dishes.
You have competition literally in every nook and corner.
हाँ, that you will go to Bangalore नहीं होगा, यहाँ तो सब जगह है. तो मैं बोला कि यार ठीक है, maybe that's a challenge for me because if I can prove myself in Delhi, then I can prove myself anywhere else. And I took it up as a challenge. And I also said one more thing. For me, the kind of Indian food I want to serve, the kind of level I want to reach, I feel only 1% of the restaurants are doing that.
I mean, that's a very important point, and I would have anyway asked you this question now that we are on it. One is this, that the strategy that dal makhni, butter chicken and all entire North Indian fare, इसका कंपटीशन दिल्ली में चप्पे चप्पे पे है, नॉर्थ इंडिया में चप्पे चप्पे पे है, और काउंटर इंटुइटिव है ये सोचना कि जो हेवीली कंपेटिटिव, हाइपर कंपेटिटिव सेक्टर है,
राइट,
उसमें हम काम करेंगे. जबकि दूसरा सच ये है कि इसकी मार्केट ऑलरेडी है, इसकी डिमांड भी ऑलरेडी है.
एग्जैक्टली
राइट. आपकी दरियागंज की आपकी भाषा में पोजीशनिंग क्या है मार्केट में? क्योंकि सच ये है कि डिमांड है पर सप्लाई भी बहुत है. अगर आज दाल मखनी जोमेटो पे लिखा जाएगा, आई एम श्योर हजारों रेस्टोरेंट आ जाएंगे.
बिल्कुल.
तो दाल मखनी सिर्फ प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट नहीं हो सकती है. दैट मीन्स इट्स अ फुल पैकेज, राइट?
राइट.
आपके हिसाब से दरियागंज की पोजीशनिंग क्या है इस मार्केट के पिरामिड में? कौन कस्टमर और क्यों वो दरियागंज आता है? क्या सेगमेंट है where they think of you, or where you thought that they should think of us?
So the positioning is very clear. We serve, comfort North Indian food at a very reasonable price in terms of the value we're giving the customer. And in a very, if you come to our restaurant, it's a very approachable, contemporary look. I'll come to that also later, why and how we develop the look and feel.
No, but I would love to know. Right?
Yeah, so okay. So basically, and आप जब भी एक रेस्टोरेंट इंडस्ट्री में आप देखें, जब भी आप whenever you as a customer will go to any restaurant, you go to a restaurant, you are going there to eat, यहाँ जाके मुझे खाना खाने जाना है. You go there, you come back and say यार खाना अच्छा था या बुरा था. But apart from that, there's also many other things. Say यार overall इसकी जगह की vibe अच्छी थी या नहीं थी, like that. So what is the vibe? So when I was before I was conceptualizing Daryaganj, because I said I'm not going to take any chance here. So I decoded the thing that कि क्या है ऐसा जो एक रेस्टोरेंट को सक्सेसफुल करता है in terms of customer.
What is that?
I said जो vibe है उसको आप decode करो, तो वो है 5 senses. अब as a customer, when I'm going to a restaurant, starting from the moment I enter the restaurant, I see the whole look and feel. It immediately makes a साइकोलॉजिकल ओपिनियन. अगर वो रेस्टोरेंट में बहुत ज्यादा समझ लो प्रीमियम हाई एंड लुक है, आई विल बिकम अ लिटिल कॉन्शियस, थोड़ा फॉर्मल लगेगा मुझे. और थोड़ी अगर वहां पर एकदम कंफर्टेबल वाइब है तो आई विल बिकम लिटिल मोर रिलैक्स. तो एंड देन बाय सीइंग व्हाट आई सी, लाइक फ्रॉम द लाइटिंग क्या है, क्या कलर्स हैं, क्या वो मुझे एक फील दे रही है. सो व्हेन आई दरियागंज की लुक, सो व्हेन यू एंटर, you see a contemporary looking restaurant, approachable, like brick walls and all that. And then also a lot of retro stuff to give that, that nostalgia feel. So you immediately know that this is a place which is going to be, has some retro element, plus it's also contemporary in some way. This is what you see. The lighting is certain level defined. The lighting color is defined, everything, all those details. As you sit down on the table, what you touch, a sense of touch. Even the table, the chair, what material it is, has been well thought of. The kind of experience I want to give to my customer. Then when they...
I'm just trying to understand for my own self. What do you mean by... I understand that the experience of touch, right? For example, you're sitting on the sofa.
Yeah.
But how do you define what is the experience that you are delivering by whatever furniture you have used?
So if you go to a fast food restaurant, fast food QSR restaurants, the seating is always very uncomfortable. It's purposely like that. Because people, they want you to come, have a quick bite and leave. If it's very comfortable, you'll stay there and lounge around for a long time. So that's one thing, that you make the furniture comfortable enough where they feel they can spend a good 1.5-2 hours. And even a thing like if I put my hand on the table, the way the table is making me feel. If it's a very rough surface, it's a very, I will maybe get a little, I might feel different from that. But it's so it's very, so like if it's a wood table or it's a stone table, it's a little earthy feel. It gives me a little comfort there. So basically things like that. And then also touch also includes how like for example, the crockery cutlery, like, the glass I hold, I get the butter chicken is served in a very old style brass bowl. But then also there are contemporary plates, which are the bone china plates. So you all these touch points are making a lot of difference, In fact, in this whole journey, technology also plays a big part. From the how like we have your product at the entry where someone comes in, they gives their name and then they enter. So everywhere we can track the touch points. Then when they sit down, the table is allotted to them, so we can track the whole touch points. Anyways, so when they sit down, then one major touch point is when the guest, how he's greeted. When he sits down, the server comes and he gives the menu. Even the touch is the menu, what he touches. So that all that the way the server speaks to him or greets the guest, that also is the touch. Touch is covered. So now then next is that then comes the smell. So the moment you enter Daryaganj every Daryaganj restaurant, there's a certain smell, the fragrance you get. It took me 100 iterations to come to that fragrance. I used to sit down with this. There was a company called Arome who was into scent branding. So by the way, it's not many people know that.
Yeah, it's a huge industry.
It's a huge industry. And you can really influence the your customer by the fragrance.
Some of the largest brands in the world practice it not only in the food industry,
right?
Retail, hospitality, hotels is a big consumer. Like all the Louis Vuitton showrooms in the world have a certain fragrance, and it will always be that.
Exactly. So that's what we did. So we had to go through a lot of iterations. So I finally came down to a iteration which was a mix of a contemporary note and an Indian flower note. Mixed together becomes my signature Daryaganj fragrance. So anywhere you go, you will enter, you that you're in Daryaganj. That's a fragrance we developed. Then sound, music. So I thought, because it's a retro restaurant, ideally purane gaane chala do, 70s, 60s, 80s. But then the new generation will not like it. But then you play newer song, the old generation won't like it. Kya kare? So I said, okay, now what I did, I handpicked 300, 400 tracks, which were it was like funny that when the restaurant construction was going on, food trials was going on, there's a DJ sitting next to me. Sir, ye dekho next, okay hai ki nahi? Okay hai. Next, ye cancel, ye okay. Like that, I chose 300 tracks, which I started with. And every track was a soulful, unplugged version of an old song. So a new, a younger artist, new age artist singing an old song. So though jo uski voice hai, will appeal to the youngsters, the lyrics will appeal to the lyrics and the tune will appeal to the older generation. People come and tell us that every time they go to the next day after going to the Daryaganj, that we didn't feel that heaviness of Indian food. What is it that you've done? I said, that's where it is. That's what the techniques and the old, sometimes, you have to go back to the basics. The way that the techniques we use, the ingredients we use, make all the difference.
I want you to break down the unit economics of Daryaganj restaurant today. Ek unit restaurant, and I'll layer this question up. I'm sure आपने बीच में वो बोला भी, and I want to call that back. आपने बोला कि यार मैंने डिसाइड किया मेरी प्रीवियस लर्निंग से कि मैं ये 5-7 हजार स्क्वायर फीट का रेस्टोरेंट दोबारा नहीं खोलूंगा. ठीक है. तो आपने आई एम श्योर दरियागंज का कोई एक यूनिट साइज बनाया है.
Right.
आपने अपना एक मिनिमम मैक्सिमम का बाउंड्रीज क्रिएट की है. तो डिफाइन दैट इन नंबर्स फॉर मी कि अगर आज आप एक दरियागंज का नया स्टोर प्लान करते हैं, उसका क्या साइज होता है, उसमें कितने सीट्स होती हैं. And then we will get into the pie of the numbers in terms of what's your food cost, what's the EBITDA at the store level, at the corporate level, what are the staff salaries at a percentage level, utilities cost, whatever you can break down for me.
So, we realize our sweet spot comes at 2,000 square feet, wherein we get, so in a 2,000 square feet space, we dedicate about 600 square feet, 500 to 600 square feet for a kitchen and store. And then whatever we are left with, divide that by 20. So 20 square feet per seat is what is our average right now. So that gives us that number of seats. For example, if it's a 2,000 square feet space, I remove 600
for kitchen.
So I'm left with 1,400. 1,400 divided by 20.
70.
That's what it is, you know.
Hmm.
So 70 seats is
Is average Daryaganj
65,
is-
yeah, average Daryaganj 70 seats.
Mhm.
60 to 70 seats is the average Daryaganj size.
Hmm.
And we have done a few restaurants which are 100 seaters as well.
Hmm.
And we've done one which is 45 seaters as well. But I realized this is the sweet spot for us to do 70 seaters. And one more thing we realized, that our rental should not be more than 15% of the sales at any point of time. So when I'm signing a property, I see what is the projected sales. And then I check then obviously we know the rental. I see the rental on top of, and divided by my sales, which I'm expecting there. If it's more than 50%, I don't do the property.
So tell me, what's your payback? What's your ideal payback period?
So I realized that, if we touch wood, we have a very good operating margin. We are almost at 22-23% outlet level. And outlet level EBITDA. And at this number, it makes it very comfortable for us. And so usually our restaurants recover their investment in 2 to 2.5 years. And
24 to 30
so that's
months.
almost 40 to 50% IRR. 40 to 50% IRR is what we get out of our restaurants, and that is a very healthy number, because in a way, what I'm saying is that if I take a loan at 15%, I can earn back at 40%. I can with that money I can earn 40% return. So that difference is my profit.
And what's your if you break down the pie, what percentage is your utility bills? You said 15% is your rent. Draw 100% pie of a Daryaganj store today. Break down the entire pie for me in terms of your utility bills, rents, salaries, food cost, and so on.
There are 3 major costs for every restaurant. Number 1 is rental. Number 2 is manpower. And third is the food cost, the COGS. These 3 are major costs. So I'll explain that first. So first, our COGS, cost of goods sold, which is our food cost, beverage cost, whatever the raw material we put in, is somewhere around 30%. I mean, actually, we have almost reduced it to 28 now. I mean, it's been, we've been trying to optimize, we do some menu engineering and get it to a lower level. So we've come down to 28 now. And apart from that, then there is a manpower cost, your salaries, and then obviously the compliances which go with these, with the people you hire. Then we also give them service charge. All of that we take as a cost.
Correct.
So that comes down to about 15%. Then the third is the rental, like I just mentioned before, that we don't want to exceed 15%. Because if you exceed that, our outlet level margin goes down. So
that's 30, 15, 60.
Yeah. And then there is just these utilities, like we talk about utilities and other stuff, this is about another 2-3% there.
Right.
Then there is commissions. We pay, because we are a very delivery heavy business. So because we are a business which has about 25% delivery, so we have a certain amount which goes towards the commission to the aggregators, Zomato, Swiggy, and also like we have Easy Diner and Dine Out, which are for the dine-in business. All of that also translates to about 4-5% going there. And then whatever rest is left is, a lot of miscellaneous things here and there.
Your marketing cost?
Marketing, yes. So that's very interesting to tell you that our marketing cost is very less. Because why? Our marketing is only at the, we don't spend more than 1-1.5% in marketing.
Really?
Yeah. It's at maximum 1-2%.
Does that include, your spend on Zomato digital platforms?
If I include that, maximum logo is 2%. Because I feel the best form of marketing in this world is word of mouth marketing. And instead of spending the money for my marketing, I put it into my customer experience. I really focus on getting a great experience for the customer. We are very customer obsessed, by the way. We look at every single review every day. I have a software where, in that software, we get all the reviews from all different platforms every day into one place. Plus all my daily feedback forms, whatever the customer writes, we convert that and put it into that same channel. And then we put a sentiment analysis AI layer as well. So we can see what are the top insights coming from all the reviews. Then
And you see it for every store every day?
and I have a dedicated person doing it.
Very
She's
nice.
a customer experience head. So she looks at it every day.
क्या
She
करते
look-
हैं negative
And
reviews?
so what we do is when she spots the negative review, she immediately has the software allows her to do that. She raises a ticket to the manager of that single. There's a review, bad review in some one outlet that goes straight away. The ticket gets raised to the manager. He needs to come and do. He needs to do three things. It's my three things for a 3 steps formula. Number one, why it happened. Get into the root cause. If say food went wrong, why? क्यों हुआ? कि कुछ क्वालिटी खराब आई थी या कुछ खाना ठीक से नहीं बनाया था. Accordingly, then you at least you have to diagnose why what happened. Number two, how will you avoid it in the future? And third is guest recovery. How do you go to the guest and make sure they are they are recovered? Either if, first you apologize, you do whatever you want to do. They say in this industry, guest is always right. पहले उसको मनाओ, नहीं हुआ तो उसको एक voucher दो, उसको whatever. Make sure these 3 steps are done. So every manager has to do this. And they also know one thing that I'm watching. That, as a founder, owner, every day I am looking at the reviews. So I can randomly pick up any review and send a message to the manager, why is this bad? So they know that I'll send random messages here and there.
Amit, agar aaj, a young aspiring restaurateur walks into your office and says, मेरे पास 2 crore रुपए हैं जो मैं लगाना चाहता हूँ, मैं रेस्टोरेंट खोलना चाहता हूँ, आपकी उसके लिए क्या एडवाइस होगी?
So number one, don't get into the restaurant business if you think that it's a very glamorous business, very, amazing. I get all the recognition. I'll just chill, don't even think that. If you think that, don't get into this business. It's the most toughest business. In fact, you have to work on holidays. You have to work on New Year's Eve. You have to work on festivals, family occasions. So that's how it is. It's very tough because
in fact, you have to work on all the social days.
Yeah.
Because those are the days when other people will come to your place to socialize.
So number one is that. So be ready to work really hard. Number two, if you coming into the restaurant business just to make money, don't even get into it. Because, see, there was Steve Jobs once said, like, if you have the passion for it, only then you will persevere to see through the challenges. So same thing. The restaurant industry will have a lot of challenges. It's the toughest business. So that's what it is. Like I said, 99.99% you have to be right. So you have to have that passion. If you have the passion, only then you can see through it. That's the second thing which I said. And the third is, I would always suggest everyone who wants to get into a restaurant business first to go and be around a restaurateur. Like I said, like we discussed before, that either work with the restaurant owner or maybe go to a restaurant and just say, give me some time, let me do an internship with you for a few months. I'm openly saying today that anyone who wants to get into the restaurant business, come. I will give you maybe come and spend 1 week with me at my restaurants. You will understand how the restaurant business works. Maybe it's a very short period, and even more could be fine. But come and experience what it is, how to be a restaurateur. Then you realize it's so tough. It's not so easy.
Amit, this was a fabulous conversation. I, have always admired your journey. थोड़ा distance से और थोड़ा करीब से भी. I'm always glad that we had a very minuscule but some role to play. We contribute to that, and you contribute to our journey as a customer, because without you we won't be there. But I'm very, very happy to have this conversation. This was very interesting, intriguing. I got to know some parts of some facets in this conversation that I didn't know. So I was not expecting this, when we started. I thought that I know everything, and this is probably happening for the audience. But thank you for agreeing to do this.
Thank you very much. And yes, you guys have been a big part of our journey. Like I was telling you the numbers about how many 2021 lakh people served, and we also served 4.5-5 lakh butter chickens and 4.5 lakh dal makhani. All of these were sold on POS's platform. Every single bill was.
No, we are glad. We're always proud.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for being our technology support partner.
Thank you.